Okay, welcome to the first monthly shareholder meeting. Let me dress up really quick. So, what would be fair, I think, to all my to all my 7 subscribers, we all get a fair share of the revenue. So I will be dividing equally upon all of you the $0 that we have made. I think that's fair. And I want to talk a little bit about what our plans are. So these videos are I did 10%. We didn't quite hit the 30 videos yet, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to be a thing. And those videos are the ones that I feel like have led to the highest amount of progress in the shortest amount of time. And what I mean by that is I just looked at the ones that I remembered for having an impact on me in the last 25 days. And when I looked at them, I forgot most of the ones where I just talked about something that I was interested in, and the ones where I did something really hard. So either the lower one, which is basically me cleaning a trash for 45 minutes, but I remember it because the effort itself I felt so proud of doing something that was difficult. And I have no proof for anything what I'm saying here. I'm just saying these will be my guidelines going forward. And then we make another 30 and we look into them and look, hey, what was the best one out of those? And then we keep getting data from what to do. So the way I would divide these is we have fear and we have effort. And doing something that you're afraid of, so either you're like cringing or you're afraid of them, are some of these moments where you have the opportunity to develop the most. Because if you're scared, it's arguably one of the hardest things you can do. And for the trash itself, I wasn't scared. It's boring. It's hard. It's physically hard. You're tired. And every time you can prove yourself wrong and say, I can still do these, even though I feel this way, it feels like it has a huge effort. So why even care to begin with? Like why should anyone care, including me? Well, because there's a huge amount to gain from this experiment. For me, it's obvious, right? I get to test the limits of myself, and I believe that whatever I'm going to do in this life, its chance of happening increases as I build my own capacity to tolerate a form of discomfort. Because guess what? Nothing cool ever happened from people that aren't able to do that. And for everybody that watches this, basically, I'm video therapying myself and documenting me from arguably one of my lowest points in life, when I'm starting out with a huge amount of shame for myself as a person, which sounds maybe a little funny saying it so bluntly, but at this time I'm deeply unhappy with myself in many of the ways, and my way of coping with this is figuring out why and changing stuff. And so one of the things that also either I'm going to do here or in a future video is lay out all the things and the reality and the current situation of these things. For example, right now this is how I sound, which is something I'm very uncomfortable with. And so what you would do is you would change anything, right? The way you've been behaving caused the way you sound right now. So just do anything that's not that and see what happens. Have there been other people in the history of humanity that have improved their voice? Is it a health thing? Is it a skill thing? Is it a habit thing? And as we basically approach this problem from both sides, which is on the one hand, you have to learn to accept that everything that happened so far has nothing to do with your worth. So you can totally say, I am overweight and these things happened and I behaved a certain way and people were mean to me and so I was coping with it. And that has nothing to do with my worth or my capabilities. That's just something that happened. And on the other hand, we have to start actually building the capacity, because you can, of course, be like, oh, I accept myself. I love myself. I actually don't think that I look bad. I don't dislike who I am in life. But it doesn't change anything. And I think a lot of people feel really lost when people say, oh, just, learn to love yourself. And you're like, why? I don't really respect the way I behave. Because we have a certain value system and we say we value, effort. We value people who are courageous. But then you don't have a lot of proof that you behave this way. You don't actually, even you go back, you go through all the memories of you not behaving the way that you respect. And it makes it really difficult to just project some good thing. But instead, what we do is we say, this is baseline, this is reality. And then we're actually going to try to slowly improve. Because I don't know if you've noticed it, but I don't have a lot of talent, right? This is all effort. And ironically, I'm not putting a lot of effort into this video. But what I mean by this is I might not be prepositioned to do well, but I do think that if I do something and then I change something and then I've learned that now the second version is better, I am learning something, and if I do this often enough, I will improve. And it's kind of the unsexy brute forcing way of just dealing with reality. Like, I'm unhappy with how I look. Why do I look this way? What happened? How do I behave? Is it health? Is it genetics? Is it XYZ? And on the other hand, why do you care? Like, what kind of feedback have you gotten in your life to behave this way and to think this way about yourself? And by tackling those two things, I think we're tackling some of the most important thing that you can, which is your relationship with yourself. Because at the end of the life, you're just going to die and you lived your life through your own lenses. So this is arguably the most important person to take care of. And maybe along the way, I can help someone, with the same thing. And I'm not claiming anything. I'm just going to be sharing what I figure out. And the one claim that I feel like I can make out of 25 days doing this is the days I felt the best are the days I have physically felt the worst, which makes no sense to me at all. But basically, my nervous system and my brain felt the best when I had done something extremely difficult for me. And I'm assuming it could either be contrast, so just the rest of the day seemed great. Like if you go into ice water, going out is pretty awesome. Or your brain just needs it, and your brain is made to tolerate things that are difficult for you. And I think this is the core flip that I kind of had wrong. For example, I kind of like working out, and that's really hard. But it didn't do the same thing. But me being in front of a camera, which is arguably the thing I'm most afraid of, not really, because right now I don't feel any fear. Maybe me showing these sides that I feel so embarrassed by, that's arguably the most difficult thing I've done in recent memory. So yeah, that's the plan for going forward, which means I'm still gonna do my best to do daily videos. They're all gonna suck because these are the two new requirements. Either I'm gonna start a video with being, I am tired, I don't want to do this, I don't have any motivation, I want to go to bed, I want to, go take heroin, I don't know. But and the other one will be, I have figured out another thing that I'm deeply afraid of, or I think something that is super cringe. And so let's do that. Which, let's see how I feel about this whole decision in 30 days. Let's get it.